Hey there, Otaku! Ken Chan here with another episode of Go Mega Otaku Gamer Alpha. Today we're going to look at the Magnavox Odyssey 2. It kind of looks like a computer, but it's not. It's a game system. And it's not even, to my knowledge, a programmable game system. These keys are used in some of the games, actually. Now, the year was 1978, and Magnavox had on the market the Odyssey at that point. It came out before that, but it was sitting around, and it hadn't really done that well. They wanted to get back into the gaming market. The Odyssey, of course, didn't use any kind of microprocessors. It was a really cheaply built, simple system. We won't go into that right now. So they released the Odyssey 2. Now, the Odyssey 2 had many other names. In Brazil, it was known as the Philips Odyssey. In Europe, it was known as the Philips VideoPack G7000. In the United States, it was the Magnavox Odyssey 2 and the Philips Odyssey 2. And it had other names as well. Magnavox had been the innovator in the video games industry with the Odyssey 1, but they needed something else. This system was far more advanced than the Odyssey 1, in that it used a microprocessor. In fact, the microprocessor, the CPU, was an Intel 8048. It used ROM cartridges. They sold 2 million units. Wow. They had released it in Japan in 1982, 4 years later. Okay, so it had a little bit of staying power. And it was a second generation console as well. This one here that I have, actually, if you see or notice, okay, there's the controller. The original Odyssey 2s had the controllers hardwired into the unit itself. Here's the second controller. The model that I have has detachable controllers, which is a nice thing to have. And these controllers are in pretty good shape. They snap back to center, which is always a good sign that the controllers are working well. It had this keyboard, and no, you could not program anything on it, to my knowledge. It was basically used in games. Games like Hangman. They had a game where you could scramble words, and try to figure out what the words were. Things like that. But anyway, we're going to look at a couple of the games now. But of course, before we look at the games, let's look at the games. Okay. The games came in little boxes like this. Okay, this is Casey's Crazy Chase. This was the second game in the Casey Munchkin franchise. Casey Munchkin, of course, was their Pac-Man knockoff that they had gotten sued for. So they had to radically alter the game or get rid of it altogether. I'm not sure exactly where this stands in that mix, this Crazy Chase game. It's very much still like Pac-Man, but there's a lot more going on the screen. And all of the games had if you'll see or notice here, this exclamation point says Casey's Crazy Chase, and this one here is UFO. And this, what's this here? This is computer golf. And the games, they also had these handles, which made them easier to pull out of the system when you had to take them out of the system. Handy little thing, not necessary. Probably made them more expensive to manufacture to put some crazy shape on them like that. But now let's look at some of the graphics of the games by looking at the games. Now I'm a big Pac-Man fan, so let's go ahead and take a look at first their Pac-Man knockoff. This is KC Munchkin. You'll see or notice not as many dots on the screen. Maybe they thought they could get away with copyright infringement if they just changed that small aspect of it. You still have energizers that power the Munchkin up. And the dots move, and the more dots that you eat, the faster the remaining dots move around on the screen. You could program your own mazes too. Whoa. Oh, that was stupid. And they don't stay, well, they don't really turn blue, they turn purple, but they don't stay purple very long. Yes, the courts decided this was just too much like Pac-Man to let slide. See, that last dot is moving just as fast as I am. You have to catch it on the rebound. This is the second game in the KC Munchkin franchise. This is KC's Crazy Chase. And this is crazy. I guess those are mushrooms? Ooh, don't want to run into that thing. Or that thing. But you do want to do this, eat it from behind. When you eat the whole thing, next screen. Guess to maximize your score, you probably want to do some of these. See, now Casey rolls around on a screen instead of doing the Pac-Man munch face thing, the waka 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 looking thing. He just kind of rolls around, probably from eating all these mushrooms. This is a little Alien Invaders Plus. You have to plug the joystick into the second port for this one. Ooh. those things down on the bottom there, you can't kill them. And when you get hit, you have to run for the hills, run for one of these things. Now all I can do is run until I get killed. So it's a variation on the Space Invaders. Kind of a cheesy one. I think the least they could have done is make a black background. Here's a little UFO! Going. Wow. And of course everybody had some kind of a Star Raiders knockoff. This is Cosmic Conflict. Oh, I love it. Why does that look like a TIE fighter? Oh, I got hit. Everything looks like a TIE fighter from this era. All right. Ooh, that hurt. I just lead it a little. Now in 2009, IGN named the Odyssey 2 the 21st greatest video game system of all time out of a total of 25. That's not so bad. I mean, if they picked the top 25 and it finished in the top 25, that's not such a bad thing. The performance of the machine was somewhere between an Atari 2600 and a ColecoVision. Somewhere in there. It didn't fare that well, though, as only 2 million units were sold. But, of course, you know, if not that many were sold, what does that make it? A great collectible. It's a staple system for any collector's collection, and I strongly recommend it. It's a lot of fun, a lot of weird things about it, a lot of cool things about it. The games are kind of quirky. They're a little bit knockoffy of previous games and other games that were out at the time, but then again, at that time period, so was everything else. And for the time, it also had like a high-tech look because it looked kind of like a computer. So if you're looking to round out your collection with another 8-bit device from that era that's quite excellent, I would recommend the Magnavox Odyssey 2. Thanks for checking out this episode of Go Mega Otaku Gamer Alpha. Share and subscribe.